Who is this, Jail?
Yes, ma'am, we have Mr. Christopher Cervantes.
Okay. Still waiting for his lawyer. We have Mr. Lemke and Mr. Solis. Good morning, Annex.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Do you by any chance have Jaime Cervantes?
Yes, Your Honor, he's here ready.
All right, bring him on out and we'll get started.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Solis.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I believe we're ready to start on your client. So court calls a case of the state of Texas versus, oh, does he speak English?
I don't believe he does, Your Honor.
He says,
All right.
Your Honor.
Okay. I need an interpreter.
Yes, ma'am. Let me get one. Judge, one should be logging on.
Okay, thank you. Is this the only one we'll need an interpreter for?
I believe so, ma'am. Nobody else requested an interpreter.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Yaldo.
Good morning, Judge. I'm so sorry. I've had a lot of tech issues for the past 20 minutes. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Other than that, good.
Just waiting on an interpreter. Are you covering all the public defender cases?
For
Your
today,
Honor-
yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, my two clients this morning are Mr. Alonso Torres and Mr. Christopher Cervantes. Are there others that need attorneys?
Jaime Boteo?
Let me find out what's going on with him.
Okay.
Sorry, Judge, I assumed you were going to be asking if I'm covering all of Hunter's cases today. I
I
didn't hear the
know.
rest of the query.
I assumed you would.
Although tomorrow it should be for, I will be in the office in case anything needs addressing, but the line attorney that should be covering court for tomorrow will be Lupita Lozano. She's signed a CCR1.
Okay. Still no interpreter. You want to give them a call?
Yes, Judge.
Downtown, do you still have Mr. Christopher Cervantes there?
Yes, Judge, that is correct. He's here.
All right, let's go ahead and start with him. Court calls a case of State of Texas versus Christopher Cervantes, cause number 2018-0C09264. This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus. May I have announcement of counsel?
Adon Valdez on behalf of the state, ready to proceed.
Ana Yaldo with the El Paso County Public Defender's Office here on behalf of Mr. Christopher Cervantes, also ready.
All right, and you are Christopher Cervantes?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Ms. Yaldo.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, this is Mr. Christopher Cervantes. Mr. Cervantes is 28 years old. He is a United States citizen. He's been in the jail for a little under 2 weeks. He graduated from Sunset, which is now Raymond Thayes School in 2013. And he also previously went to Burgess High School. He works construction with his family, and he makes about $2,000 a month doing that work. He's been doing this construction work for the past 7 years. He's currently single and has no children. And he lives at 1500 Copia, apartment 2 in El Paso, Texas, zip code 79905. If he's to be released, he would be returning to that address. As far as criminal history, he doesn't have a very long history, I believe, just a handful of criminal trespass cases and a theft. I spoke with him about the reason why the warrant was issued, and it's because he didn't show up for court. Now, there's no excuse for that, but hopefully we can implement some mitigating measures here. I did speak with his mother, Miss Dora Saldana, pretty extensively yesterday. She has a working phone number. And Mr. Cervantes also has a working phone number and an email address. I'd request a reduction to a PR bond here, Judge, if at all possible. If not possible, his mother does have $200 to help bond him out of jail. I've admonished Mr. Cervantes about the importance of, staying in contact with his attorney, staying in contact with the bonding company and PR bond. And I hope he understands how the gravity of the situation. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Valdez.
The only thing I'd add to that, Judge, I don't disagree with the public defender's recitation of his criminal history. One detail that I would highlight, that, however, is that the no-show was to a jury trial hearing. So of all the hearings that somebody might have in the course of a criminal case in its pendency, that's the one that he would have been on the most notice of. That's the one that would have had the most conversation about. You missed that day for a particular reason, and I think that's an indication of flight risk. I'd also indicate to the court that he does also have a pending, although this was prior to the no-show, but does have a pending felony for possession of controlled substance, penalty group 1.
Okay.
So we're not opposed to some relief, but we think a full PR bond would be inappropriate. We would ask that the relief be limited to a reduction in the surety portion of the bond and intensive supervision on the PR component.
What efforts has he made to make the $2,000 bond?
I'm not sure what efforts he has made. As I said, I did speak with his mother yesterday, and she indicated to me that she has some money available to pay in the event that the bond was not reduced today.
Okay. Has she attempted to talk to a bonding company about it? With the $200, my guess is she can make a $2,000 bond.
I'm not sure, Your Honor, if she's spoken with any bonding companies.
All right. Then I'm going to give him a split bond, 1,500 surety and 500 PR with the DWI conditions on there. Mr. Cervantes, if you fail to show up to court again, you're going to be sitting in jail till this case is disposed of. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You fail to report to PR bonds, a warrant for your arrest will be issued as well. You need to be reporting at least once a month. They're going to give you instructions. You're going to have a curfew where you can't be out unless you're working or going to school. You're going to not be using any illegal drugs. You're not to get arrested again. You're going to be giving UAs or breathalyzers. If you fail any of these conditions, then a warrant for your arrest will be issued immediately. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Yaldo?
No, Your Honor, but I'd be happy to provide the clerk's office or PR bond with his, not only his information, but his mother's information as well, if they need it.
I'm sure he'll provide that to PR bonds, but you might want to provide a good email for the court so that we can email him his setting.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to ask that this matter be set for trial again immediately.
Yes, Your Honor. His email address is.
Well, if you can call the court and give it to Rihanna, please.
Absolutely.
Or email it to Rihanna.
No problem at all. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Still don't have an interpreter. What's going on?
Judge, Mr. Portugal is supposed to get on. As a matter of fact, Mr. Banda said he's supposed to get on a couple of minutes ago. Enrique Portugal.
Not on here.
Okay, let me talk to Mr. Banda again, Judge.
Tell him I need somebody yesterday. Okay, who has Christian Gonzalez? Downtown, who else do you have?
Mr. Gonzalez is here at the annex, or he's coming up.
Okay, thank you. Let me have him, please. Good morning, Mr. Lemke.
Morning, Your Honor. How are you this morning? I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thanks, Judge. I was going to ask respectfully if you could have a court record on this case because there's an immigration issue. I just want to put on the record.
We have a record.
Okay. All
Court
right, thank
calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Christian Gonzalez, cause number 2022-0C0-1191, 2022-0C0-1508, 2022-0C0-1504, and 2022-0C0-1668.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration, and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus.
May I have announcement of counsel?
Adon Valdez on behalf of the state, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, Jason Lemke, behalf of Christian Gonzalez, defendant, ready to proceed?
You are Christian Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand, sir. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in these matters be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Have you discussed the immigration consequences of a plea of guilty on these cases with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And has he told you these are deportable offenses or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they are deportable?
No, I don't know. No, they're not. They're misdemeanors.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lemke, have you advised your client that these are deportable offenses?
Yes, Your Honor. I had a consultation with an immigration attorney, Ricky Garcia, and I advised my client they could be deportable. He's been a resident, but he's pleading guilty to more than 2 assault family violence cases, and it could be deportables. And I explained everything in detail with him, and he told me he wants to go forward with the plea.
Okay, my understanding is that these are deportable offenses. So Mr. Gonzalez, are you absolutely sure you wish to go forward with the guilty plea?
Yes.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Charged with the offense of assault, family violence alleged to have occurred June 20th, 2021. Violation of protective order alleged to have occurred May 16, 2021. Assault, family violence alleged to have occurred May 16, 2021. And assault, family violence alleged to have occurred July 24th, 2020 in El Paso County, Texas, for all of them. To those charges, sir, how do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Any priors, Mr. Valdez?
I didn't prepare the plea papers on these, but let me check. So prior to the cases before us, with the exception of traffic infractions, the only other Class B or better conviction that I see is for a theft of property in 2019. Well, okay, there was a 2014 burglary of habitation that looked like it got pled down to a misdemeanor. We did 2 years probation on that. And everything else appears to be traffic infractions or Class Cs.
All right. The court will then follow the state's recommendation, find you guilty, Mr. Gonzalez, on all 4 cases, sentence you to 45 days in jail plus court cost on the first 3, and 1 day in jail on the last case, plus court costs with credit for all time served on everything, and the 4 cases run concurrent with each other. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, respectfully, in the plea recommendation, there was dismissal of cause number 2022 0C03301 and 2022 0C03081.
I didn't see that in the plea recommendation, but if that's the case, then I'm sure they will be dismissed. Correct, Mr. Valdez?
So my understanding of the plea options, as indicated by Mr. Griffin's notes, is he was given three choices. One was if pleading to just a VPO and AFV, either 15 months probation or 90 days in jail with credit for time served, dismissal of the remaining charges, which would seem to jive with the scenario that Mr. Lemke just outlined, or in exchange for the shorter sentence for which he had the time already to cover, it'd be 45 days pleading on all. So if we're availing ourselves of the 45-day sentence, then that would be pleading on all charges.
Judge, respectfully, I got the state's plea offer that I emailed to the court. And it says on the bottom of it, other terms, dismissal of these two terms. And I did talk to Mr. Griffin, and these are the two new cases that were just filed. And he did say he's going to dismiss them, and it's on the state's plea offer where it says other terms.
What are the cause numbers, Jason?
2022 0C03301 and 2022 0C03081.
Okay, I see it here on the plea agreement. That's
Okay,
correct.
if that's what the documentation states, then I will tender those dismissals forthwith.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Valdez.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything further, Mr. Lemke?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. All right, now Mr. Portugal is with us, so let me turn on the interpreter function and we can get started with Mr. Jaime Cervantes.
Good morning, Your Honor. I apologize for the delay.
Good morning, Mr. Portugal. What is your first name? I'm sorry.
It's Enrique, Your Honor,
Enrique.
ENRIQUE. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, may I be respectfully be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, everybody, please pick your language. Annex, would you please pick your language?
Sí, señor.
I do. Okay, court calls a case of the state of Texas versus Jaime Cervantes, cause number 2022-0C0-2041.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the
I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't hear, Your Honor. Your voice cut out. I'm not sure if it's just me or can anyone hear me?
I can hear you, Ed. I think the judge put herself on mute, which also muted the electronic recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. My dog was barking like crazy here, so I muted myself and muted the recording, I guess.
All right.
Give me 1 minute. Okay, may I have announcement of counsel, please?
Adon Valdez, on behalf of the state, ready to proceed.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Eduardo Solis from Mr. Cervantes. We're ready.
You are Jaime Cervantes?
Sí, señor.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Sí, señor.
Okay, are you a U.S. citizen, Mr. Cervantes?
No, señor, soy mexicano.
Okay, have you discussed the immigration consequences of a plea of guilty on this case with your attorney?
Sí, señor.
And has he told you this is a deportable offense or not?
Sí, señor.
Yes, it is deportable. You need to answer. Pardon? All right.
If I can clarify, Your Honor, I explained to him that the state of the law at present, that this offense is not deportable. However, I can't predict how or when the immigration authorities would change that approach or the case authority would change, but at present, this offense by itself, pleading guilty to this offense is not deportable. However, if he has other history, for example, an illegal reentry, or this is an entry that will be a second entry after a removal, it can result in federal charges, or if he has prior felonies, those offenses may result in deportation. But this offense by itself is not deportable.
Okay. Knowing that, Mr. Cervantes, are you sure you wish to plead guilty?
Sí, señor.
Your Honor, if I may also clarify, if he has, I'll also explain that without any status, just the status of being here without any authorization to enter is itself cause for removal, Your Honor.
Okay. Charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated with a .15 below or above, alleged to have occurred June 8th, 2022 in El Paso County, Texas. To those charges, sir, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Any priors, Mr. Valdez?
So I show several prior arrests, some for concerning items, but all resulted in dismissals, save for one, which was deferred probation on a possession of controlled substance in the late 90s. I'm unable to see the disposition, but seeing as how it has not changed status to a conviction, I assume that he successfully completed that deferred probation.
That case, the court of recommendation finds you guilty, Mr. Cervantes, 6 days in jail plus court costs with credit for all time served on everything. Anything further, counsel? All right, court will follow the state's recommendation, find you guilty, sentence you to 60 days in jail plus court costs with credit for all time served on everything. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, you may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I have Mr. Vasquez? Thank you, Mr. Portugal. I believe that that's all we need. You too. Good morning, Mr. Yanez.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right. We're getting your client, Mr. Yanez, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Judge. Who is the next defendant, Your Honor?
Ernesto Vasquez.
Okay.
Calm down, Charlie. Calm down. Okay, court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Ernesto Vasquez, cause numbers 2022-0C00369 and 2022-0C01794.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus.
May I have an announcement of counsel?
Don Valdez, on behalf of the state, ready to proceed.
Luis Yanez, on behalf of Mr. Vasquez, the defendant, we're ready, Your Honor.
You are Ernesto Vasquez.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm testimony you may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Yanez.
Yes, Your Honor. My client appeared before you, Judge, a couple weeks ago regarding this or the condition that he was alleged to have violated as part of his bond, which was to put the interlock, Judge. I believe we appeared on a Thursday. You gave him till Monday to put that on, or you would issue a warrant. He made the appointment, Your Honor, but he couldn't get the appointment until the following Wednesday because there were no appointments available at that time. And that's why this warrant was issued, Judge. And
Not exactly that simple, Mr. Yanez. We had the hearing on July 29th. I gave him until that Monday. He said he couldn't get the appointment. PR Bonds contacted me and said he had an appointment August 4th. I gave him till August 5th to get it. He failed to show up at the appointment and therefore did not get the interlock. But he had previously been revoked because he had some positive blows on the interlock as well.
that's correct.
Go ahead.
That's correct. So he didn't get that, and that's why this warrant was issued, Judge. My client is indigent and cannot afford the bond as is, Judge. We appeared in front of the jail mag 2 days ago, and the request was denied to lower the bond. So we're right here in front of you asking you for a reduction or a PR bond with further opportunity for him to do this or comply with your directions and orders. I have also filed a motion to comp, Judge. There's some mental health issues associated with my client. And I think the court has seen my client, and the court would be able to assess his physical and mental condition. So that's what we have this morning, Judge.
Okay. Does he currently have the interlock or not?
He does not, Your Honor.
Mr. Valdez, anything?
Just, Your Honor, so I saw that the motion to comp was filed on August 11th. If it is possible that some of the non-compliance may be based on some mental health condition that might be at work, and in either event, the community would be in a better state of safety if he remains incarcerated until that assessment can be completed. If he comes back that he's competent, well, then we know that it's willful violation. If he comes back that not, well, then we pursue a different route at that point. But since there's a motion for comp filed, the question as to his mental health may be contributing to the danger that he's posing with his non-compliance. I think it's probably safest for the community that he remain in custody until that assessment can be made.
Well, I think I tend to agree with you because of his positive blows, his past history of violating the court's orders, the fact that he still does not have a working interlock. I'm going to leave the bond as is for now, get him examined, and then we will go from there. Rihanna, if you will send me the orders transferring them to the comp court, we can get him examined as soon as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
None further from us, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You may be excused.
Thank you.
Let me have Lee Michael, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Ravo.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, court call the cases of the state of Texas versus Lee Michael, cause numbers 2019-0C0 7710, 2019-0C0 7712, 2019-0C0 7374, 2019-0C0 7705, 2022-0C0 1112, 2022-0C0 1096, and 2022-0C0 1911.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus.
May I have an announcement of counsel?
Adon Valdez, on behalf of the state, ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Jeff Robb on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Lee, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's start with a status hearing on the 2022 cases, and then we'll put you in a breakout room for the pre-revo. What's going on with the felony, Mr. Rago?
Judge, I tried to find a felony. I don't show any felony anywhere.
I think you can shed some light on it. What he has, Jeff, is he has a bunch of debit card, credit card abuse cases that he had pled to deferred probation on, but they were pled down to misdemeanors. So they're all 1244B. I don't know if the court wants to put us in a breakout room for this, but I think the universal solution can probably just be had here out loud. I can't wreck the revos on that one, but he's only looking at misdemeanor sting on those felony deferred probations. So what I wrecked on all our misdemeanors is 120 days. He's got more than that to cover it already. Pleading on all of ours. If you want to maybe make that pitch to the felony prosecutor, see if he plays ball with the same and throw my name in there that it was my idea, and maybe we can wrap everything up and get him out.
Okay. And Judge, I don't know whether, I don't show I've been appointed or that a pre-revo has even been filed on the felony. Can you tell me, Adon, do you see anything on that?
Let me pull it up. I saw what he was on for the felonies. What
I
that
think
was
there is a
about.
motion to revoke with a zero bond on the credit card abuse charge. I don't know what the plea was, but it says credit card abuse.
And unless I didn't get it, Judge, I don't show those for some reason, which doesn't mean I don't have it, but I show the misdemeanors and I show the new case, but I don't show anything. But I think that rec is reasonable. I just need to be able to do something on the felonies. So
you are, Jeff, showing as the attorney of record on that one. It's one felony cause number. It was 4 counts. You want me to just give you the cause number?
yeah, if you would, please.
Sure. Tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
2019 0D0 5193. And they were all pled down to 1244B, and I believe it's 2 years probation. So it's 2 years probation. He's only looking at 365 underneath it. He's got 180 something actual days. My rec is 120 on everything. If they'll spread that peanut butter over their slice of bread as well, then we get them out.
I think that's reasonable, Judge. I think Mr. Lee would probably like to get out. I know he's been calling on it. I think he'd be amenable to that. So let me reach out. I think what you may be seeing it on is the old appointment, but I'll still reach out so we can get this thing knocked out, because I don't show any appointment letter on that, but I'd still like to get it done. So if we can get it done, we'll get it knocked out, Judge.
Okay, then I'm going to ask you to get in contact with a felony prosecutor, see if that flies with all the misdemeanors. And then if you'll contact the office, let us know. We'll send you the paperwork on these 7 pending misdemeanors.
Sounds good, Judge. I'll send an email right now to the felony prosecutor.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. You may be excused.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. Okay. Let me have Mr. Alonso Torres, please.
And Judge, I did speak with Mr. Rafael Morales from my office. I'll be handling Mr. Botello's case.
Boteo? All right. Court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Alonso Torres, cause numbers 2020-C01545 and 2019-0C10974.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus.
May I have announcement of counsel?
Avan Valdez, on behalf of the state, ready to proceed.
Ana Yalda with the El Paso County Public Defender Office here on behalf of Mr. Alonso Torres, also ready.
You are Alonso Torres.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear firm testimony may give in the matter be true, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have, Ms. Yaldo?
Judge, this is Mr. Alonso Torres. I met with him a couple days ago in the jail. I am just a little bit confused. His bonds are not high right now. It's a total of $1,200 and I believe $88. No, $1,228. And so I'm not entirely sure why Mr. Torres has not bonded himself out yet. But I did want to give.
Excuse me. I don't think you're looking at that correctly. I show these are both motions to revoke, and he has a 0 bond on both of them.
Okay, on our system, Judge, it didn't show the no bond, so that's my mistake. So this is Mr. Alonso Torres. He is he's a United States citizen. He has been living in El Paso his entire life. He graduated from Urban High School in 2012. He's a full-time dishwasher at Cafe Central here in the downtown area. He's been doing that for the past 4 months. He makes $9.50 an hour. He does have some money available if the court would grant bonds on the 2 probation cases. I do see that he's been on probation for a DWI and a DWI with a blood alcohol content greater than 0.15. At this time, he's single with no children. He does have, I believe, $2,000 available to him to use to post bonds. I did speak with his neighbor, Mr. Joshua Reyes, and he has possession of Mr. Torres's property as well as his debit card, and he would be able to post a bond should the court grant a bond in these cases. Unfortunately, Mr. Torres, his mom passed away a couple of years ago. His grandma does live here in El Paso, and he also has an uncle as well as his brother. We would respectfully request a bond in these cases. I did also have a question for the DA, if I might be able to ask.
Go ahead.
Mr. Valdez, just a couple of questions. I see there's a P-file assault family violence charge from 2021. Was that wrapped up with these probation cases? Because he's not being held on it, but I also don't see that it was declined.
So off the top, I don't know the answer to that. I know which case you're talking about. I don't believe it was wrapped up as part of this deal. 1, because we typically wouldn't do that if it was still in a pre-file status at the time. But 2, if we had, then what that resolution would have been to decline it. So my best guess is it's simply still in screening, and I can't tell you whether that's going to surface or not.
On one of the motions to revoke, just so you're aware, on 10974, it does say that he's on probation. Okay, I understand. I got it. Okay. So that one, we're not sure what's going on with that.
Given the type of offense that it is, so there are going to be some offenses that once it's past a certain point, there's little probability that it's going to surface. So when it's an assault family violence, where it's just a matter of talking to the complaining witness and confirming the allegation took place, those tend to not be the ones that lag in screening for an indefinite amount of time. So if I'm giving you the best guess answer that I can, given the information in front of us, I'd say probably don't worry about that one. That one's not likely to surface. The one that is likely to surface would be the August arrest for the possession of controlled substance.
Correct. That's what I figured. I wasn't sure what was going on with the AFV.
That's how I would read the tea leaves.
So, Judge, we would request a bond be set in these 2 probation cases. As I mentioned, Mr. Torres has up to $2,000 he's able to pay. If he were to be released, he would live at 316 East Rio Grande Avenue, right by the courthouse. And I did confirm that with his neighbor, that is his address. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Valdez, do you have anything?
I do, Judge. On this one, we would actually oppose relief. The basis being two things. One, the motion to revoke was filed back in March. That's not why he's in custody right now. He's in custody because he got arrested on a new offense, and it's a substance abuse offense. Why that is concerning is that the underlying facts of the two DWI cases that he's here on are a little bit more egregious than your average DWI. On one, he is parked facing eastbound on the westbound portion of Alabama. And although his blood alcohol concentration comes back at 0.12 and 0.11, which on its face is not terribly concerning, but he's placed by an eyewitness as being sitting passed out in that car from the hours of 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. prior to law enforcement getting him. So that tells you the amount of dissipation that took place prior and still blowing that high. On the other case, the 2020 DWI case, blood alcohol concentration a little bit higher, 0.19 and 0.187, still not egregiously high, but in that one there was an accident. So in both cases, you have some concerning facts that pose a danger to the community above just your vanilla DWI. And then for the possession of controlled substance case, the underlying facts behind that one are a text message is sent to an ex-girlfriend post breakup threatening to overdose. So she contacts law enforcement out of concern for him. They go to do a welfare check, no answer at the door, kick in the door. Not that much cocaine is found, but he was non-responsive. So the danger to the community stems from this person's use of mind-altering substances as a coping mechanism. And if that's where we are, then that's a danger to the community.
All right. Do you have anything further, Ms. Yaldo?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Taking into consideration all the facts, at this time, I'm going to deny the bond reduction and ask you to look into possibly either talk to Mr. Valdez about a recommendation on these cases or possibly look into modifying him into DWI court if your client is willing to seek the treatment.
Yes, Judge, I'll be sure to do that. Mr. Torres, I'll come and see you. If not tomorrow, then early next week so we can discuss, okay?
Okay.
If there is nothing further, you may be excused. Mr. Bowie, do you have something today?
Hi, Judge. I had a status hearing for Julian Gomez at 11.
I don't show him on our docket. Are you sure you're in the right court?
I may not be, Judge.
On that one, it was canceled. We're just tracking it because we already had a status hearing on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Thank
it for
you,
the
Judge.
Stockholm facility, Judge. Are we excused?
Yes, that's all you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we are now just waiting for Mr. Morales on Mr. Botello.
And Judge, I will be covering that hearing.
Okay. May I have Mr. Botello, please?
Excuse me.
All right, court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Jaime Botello. Cause number 2022-0C00612. We're here for a status hearing on the criminal mischief. What's going on with, he has the ag assault with a deadly weapon in the 34th. What's going on with that, Ms. Yaldo?
Yes, Judge, that's correct. And Mr. Botello, I'm covering for your attorney, Mr. Morales, okay? Judge, I just spoke with Mr. Morales, and I believe that they're currently working on a plea in the 34th on the aggravated assault charge. And I believe that the misdemeanor would be getting dismissed as part of that plea.
Okay.
At this time, all we would ask for is a reset to allow Mr. Morales to continue negotiating towards a disposition in Mr. Botello's case in the 34th.
Okay, there are also two P-file criminal mischief cases. Do you know if the plea agreement includes those?
I am not aware if the plea agreement includes those.
All right, please let Mr. Morales know so that he can make sure he wraps everything up. Do you
Absolutely.
know about how much time he needs to work out an agreement?
Your Honor, we would ask if at all possible for 45 days.
You think it's going to take that long?
I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I was not given that information. If the court would like to set him sooner than that, I don't believe Mr. Morales would have any problems.
If it's of any assistance to the court, Judge, that all these cases are related. The ag assault with a deadly weapon is probably scarier in title than it was in fact. There was some visible injuries, and that part's concerning. But this isn't a knife, this isn't a gun, this isn't any of that sort of thing. So I place full confidence in Mr. Morales that he will be able to resolve this case if given the window of time to do it.
Okay. Do you know if those two P-files will be filed?
I don't. As this week's media coverage can say, there's some issues in that department.
All right. Then we will please ask Mr. Morales to continue trying to knock these out, and we will check back with him maybe 60 days from now.
Yes, Judge, and I'll be sure to let him know if he needs a sooner court date to contact the court.
Yes, if he needs anything sooner, we can always accommodate him. So just let us know.
Thank you very much, Judge.
All right, then you all may be excused on that. If I can have you, Adan, and my staff stay on for just a brief moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Okay. Adan, I just wanted to say that I thought you handled the docket extremely well today.
Thank you.
I'm glad you looked into the history on those DWIs. Nobody else has ever done that.
Well,
and that was something that I'm glad I got a heads up on.
I think the training comes from having to cover those 48-hour bond hearings, because that's what the majority of what we're talking about. So well, I appreciate it. Do you have anything else for me?
No, if you would just train your lawyers to do the same, I would appreciate it.
I'll make it a note to do so.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
You
you,
may
ma'am.
be excused.
Appreciate it. Oh, just to make sure that I gotta have it. We don't have anything this afternoon, and then but tomorrow is a full day, and it'll probably be Lupita. If anything pops up, I should be in office and available if something awry happens.
Okay. We may need you. I don't know. I haven't gotten many dismissals this week on the docket, so we'll see.
Okay. And thank you for reminding me, because there's two from Mr. Lemke's case that I will submit to you right now in a
I
moment.
will wait for those.
Okay, sounds good.
And if you're, I was sending the dismissals back to Hunter, assuming that he was filing them, but I guess he's just sending them to Rihanna. So from now on, I'm just going to send them directly to Rihanna.
So Rihanna very politely, very artfully said, when you CC the judge, you're going to get it sent back to you, and then you got to send it back to me. So how about you just send it to me and save that problem? So I will try and comply with the protocol.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Bye-bye. All right. Do any of you have anything else?
I do. So Mr. Vasquez called when we were in the jail docket saying that he was appointed to Christopher Cervantes, who the public defender had the bond hearing on today. I went in, we appointed public defender back in 2019, and then JMAG appointed Mr. Vasquez to this case in 2022, along with a felony that Mr. Cervantes has. He told me he's been working on the case. I told him I would get with you. I don't know.
It would have been nice if they gave us a heads up, because the public defender's been on it for quite some time, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, ma'am. And the public defender, because I looked into the settings, the court settings, and it's been the public defender. It hasn't been Mr. Vasquez. So I wasn't sure.
Huh. For now, I'm gonna say leave the public defender on there. Tell Mr. Vasquez that I apologize, but the JMAG had no business changing our appointment.
Okay,
And please email the JMAG and ask them not to do that.
yes, ma'am.
If the public defender's on there, they should get the felony.
Yes, ma'am. And then Mr. Roberts called. He was the attorney appointed on Montana Stevens. He called and asked if we can hold the motion to dismiss, motion to revoke, because if she's released over the weekend, she won't get her medication at EHN. I had already filed the motion to dismiss, motion to revoke, so.
We can't keep somebody in jail longer than we have authority to do so.
Understood.
Yeah, just tell them, I'm sorry, by the time you called, I've already filed it.
Yes, ma'am. And that was it.
All right, then I will try to get these signed in just a bit, get them to you all. And I will see you all tomorrow. We still have quite a bit for tomorrow,
Oh,
right?
sorry, there is one more thing. Miss Nava just came in person that tomorrow they're specially set in the 346. She has a docket call set. She said that she was going to file a motion to continue, but she did want to advise that it is specially set. That is the one that Mr. Spin is also picking the jury on as to why he couldn't meet you tomorrow.
Okay, let's wait till tomorrow and see if it actually goes.
Okay.
I have been burned way too many times.
Okay. So we'll pick
No.
that for you for tomorrow.
Yes, if they're actually picking a jury tomorrow, then it's not gonna be a problem.
Okay.
What else do we have? Mr. Brown? A lot of public defender cases. Okay, all right, well, we'll see what goes tomorrow.
Okay, Judge.
Hey, Judge.
Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a
Sounds
good
good,
day.
Judge. Take care.
Bye-bye.